Tonight, the Conservatives reveal their plan to try and force a winter election.
It's clear that Justin Trudeau has lost the confidence of the Canadian people.
The political maneuver upping the pressure on the Prime Minister as calls for a Liberal leadership race grow. Survivors describe the harrowing final minutes of an Azerbaijan flight.
The images that we've seen are very disturbing.
As the U.S. says Russia may be responsible. Sake goes global, a boom driven in part by Canada.
There are many industry people who have been waiting for this moment.
Why sales are spiking outside of Japan.
From CBC News, this is The National with Paul Hunter.
Thanks for joining us. Ian is away. The Conservatives are taking another step towards triggering an election early in the new year, refusing to let Parliament's 6-week winter break slow things down. Conservatives now say they'll work in committee on a non-confidence motion, so it's ready for the House of Commons the moment the break is over. All opposition parties now saying they're ready to topple the government as Prime Minister Justin Trudeau faces a growing chorus of former political allies now calling for his resignation. Ithil Musa now with the Conservatives' move and what could unfold over the coming weeks.
It's quiet on Parliament Hill, but the machinations behind the scenes are deafening.
It's clear that Justin Trudeau has lost the confidence of the Canadian people.
All those in favor?
The Conservatives are hoping to bring down the government and fast. 3 non-confidence motions brought by the opposition failed in the fall, but now their plan is for the Standing Committee on Public Accounts to meet within days to consider a motion of non-confidence in the government. But to make it happen, the Conservatives will need the help of other parties.
We're finally going to get an opportunity to see if Jagmeet Singh will put his actions where his words are.
In a statement to CBC News, the NDP says it is prepared to support a committee-level non-confidence statement, and while raising doubts about the Conservative plan, also said we will be ready with our own motion of non-confidence. If it passes, all MPs could debate a non-confidence motion in the House as early as January 30th. The calls for Trudeau to step aside are growing louder by the day. About 20 MPs have already publicly requested his resignation, and now in an email to the Liberal caucus and the Liberal Party president, Alberta MP George Shahal called on the party to move quickly on a leadership race.
There is a desire for change, and a change in leadership is the way forward.
Even Trudeau's former principal secretary, Gerald Butts, says his resignation is likely, and the Conservatives have reasons to push up the timeline, says this Liberal strategist.
I think Mr. Poilievre trying to trigger a confidence vote on January 30th, should the House come back, is in Mr. Poilievre's interest. He's trying to speed things along as fast as he can to avoid the inauguration, to avoid a prorogation, to avoid a Liberal leadership, and to make sure he gets to run against Justin Trudeau.
And so, Ithil, there are ways for the Liberals to put the brakes on the opposition's plans, aren't there?
Yes, that's right, Paul. They could ask the Governor-General to prorogue Parliament, which would end the current session, and it would shut down committees. It means there would be no formal mechanism to bring a non-confidence motion in front of a committee or the House of Commons. It's a controversial move, but it could buy the Liberals some time.
Thank you, Ithil. CBC's Ithil Musa for us tonight in Toronto. And while the Prime Minister's future remains unclear, 2 of his cabinet ministers are in Florida tonight, meeting with Donald Trump advisors to try and avert punishing U.S. tariffs. As Katie Nicholson tells us, Canada's new border plan was central to those discussions.
Palm leaves rustle in the South Florida breeze outside Mar-a-Lago as a line of black SUVs drives through its gates ahead of a Friday morning meeting. Foreign Affairs Minister Mélanie Joly and Finance Minister Dominic LeBlanc part of a small Canadian team trying to make inroads with the incoming Trump administration and quash the threat of tariffs and build on the Prime Minister's visit last month. LeBlanc and Joly met with Howard Lutnick, tapped to be Trump's Commerce Secretary, and former North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum.
Thank you for being with us.
Last week, LeBlanc announced a new $1.3 billion border security plan. In this latest meeting, He walked the Americans through it to try to address Trump's concerns. A statement released by LeBlanc's office noted the ministers reiterated the shared commitment to strengthen border security as well as combat the harm caused by fentanyl to save Canadian and American lives, and that Lutnick and Burgum took notes of the updates and agreed to relay information to President Trump. A senior government source told CBC News the discussions were good and constructive, but it was clear that the Trump team is also concerned about a perceived trade deficit with Canada. This meeting also comes after Trump unleashed a barrage of social media posts mocking Prime Minister Trudeau and suggested Canada become the 51st state. And Trudeau's own leadership crisis in Ottawa seemingly adding to the chaos.
It doesn't help, to be honest. And I mean, obviously, Donald Trump is aware of the political situation that Justin Trudeau is in. He has made reference to it.
Now, despite Trump's needling, Trudeau's emissaries intend to continue these meetings into the coming weeks ahead of inauguration.
And Katie, this was a small meeting behind closed doors with, as you say, emissaries. So what's the strategy here?
Well, it really appears that this is a bit of an octopus approach. Try to reach out with as many tentacles as possible and to as many different people in the incoming team and build new relationships and build on existing relationships as well. That work continues in less formal areas with soft touch diplomacy. We know that Melanie Joly, for example, is dining tonight with Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, who, of course, is a Trump Circle insider.
Thank you, Katie. CBC's Katie Nicholson tonight in Washington. There's a new accusation tonight straining an already fractured relationship between Canada and India. Indian authorities allege Canadian colleges and universities are being used as a guise to help people sneak into the U.S. As Julia Wong tells us, they claim it's a well-planned conspiracy.
A shocking allegation from India. Officials claim Indian nationals are being trafficked to the United States using Canadian colleges and universities as a front. Indian police accuse at least one man of charging huge sums and arranging for people to get admission and a student visa. But they say once the individuals or students reach Canada, instead of joining the college, they illegally cross the U.S.-Canada border. Admission fees to the college are then returned. Indian police claim tens of thousands of students and hundreds of colleges in Canada are involved, though they do not name any of them.
We have an honor-based system, and it's being exploited by transnational criminals and other individuals who simply are taking advantage of a system that has virtually no oversight.
The Indian investigation started after the Patel family from India was found frozen to death in 2022, trying to cross into the U.S. from Canada. U.S. prosecutors argued two men, ultimately convicted, brought people from India to Canada on student visas, only to send them across the border. According to U.S. data, since 2022, the overall number of Indian nationals caught illegally crossing into the U.S. from Canada has skyrocketed. One expert says work opportunities in the U.S. are attractive. The allegations come at a tense time, after the RCMP and federal officials accused the Indian government of orchestrating killings on Canadian soil.
The Indian government and the Indian media are not fans of this current Prime Minister and this current Liberal government.
Experts say the federal government needs to step it up at the border.
The Canadian Border Services needs to continue to share information with the U.S. counterparts and prove that not only are we able to monitor our own border to prevent crossings like this, but also do the upstream work within our consulates.
Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada tells CBC News it's aware of reports of illegal crossings into the U.S. from Canada and is taking action, including training for officers and working with border services. The RCMP tell us it's reached out to India for more information. Julia Wong, CBC News, Edmonton.
A 9-year-old girl has died in a Calgary hospital after she was caught in a Boxing Day crash involving a suspect fleeing police. That suspect now faces 11 charges, including dangerous driving causing death.
Certainly our hearts go out to the families that were involved because it's really a horrific scene.
She was among 4 people injured when the suspect, allegedly driving a stolen minivan, ran a red light, getting into a multi-vehicle crash at this Calgary intersection. The suspect is being tested for drug impairment. As investigators try to piece together the cause of the fiery plane crash in Kazakhstan that killed 38 people, the White House now says signs point to Russia. And Deanna Sumanek-Johnson shows us survivors are now speaking out, adding more pieces to the puzzle.
I thought that the plane was going to fall apart. Subhanhal Rakimov says he then started to pray. The words of this survivor are powerful testimony to what happened in those harrowing minutes before Azerbaijan Airlines plane crashed on Christmas Day, killing 38 people and injuring dozens more. About 20 or 30 minutes after takeoff, we felt two explosions, says another survivor, Vafa Shabanova. These accounts back up what the official investigation by the Azerbaijan Airlines now calls physical and technical external interference. Interference experts and now some officials say points to the plane being downed by a Russian missile. This retired airline pilot says the investigation is still in its early days, but
the images that we've seen are very disturbing. They are very similar in some patterns to the Malaysia Airline Flight 17 that the Russians shot down some years ago. And that is because of the puncture wounds in the tail and in the fuselage.
So it seems like what you call unintended fire or collateral damage, where Russian air defense is busy trying to fight a war against incoming Ukrainian drones, and they shot it down.
Russia's head of civil aviation also portrayed the airspace at the time of the crash as dangerous. Ukrainian military drones were carrying out terrorist attacks on civilian infrastructure in the cities of Grozny and Vladikavkaz, he said, forcing the plane to be diverted from its original landing destination, Grozny, and towards Kazakhstan. There's been no official reaction from Russia's military leadership, but the White House National Security spokesperson John Kirby said it's a real possibility that Russian air defense systems brought the plane down. Deanna Sumanek-Johnson, CBC News, Toronto.
In the Middle East, Yemen's Houthi rebels have claimed responsibility for an overnight attack they say was targeting Tel Aviv's airport. As Sarah Levitt explains, it's just the latest tit-for-tat strike between the Iran-backed group and Israel.
In the early morning hours, sirens sound in Tel Aviv. People told to take shelter. Israel says it shot down a ballistic missile before it entered its airspace. Military operation was launched against Israel, this spokesperson for Yemen's Houthi rebels says, claiming it was an attempt to hit Tel Aviv's Ben Gurion airport. Houthis say the attack is retaliation for Israeli airstrikes in Yemen's capital city Sana'a on Thursday, which killed at least 6. The strikes destroyed a control tower and shattered windows at Sana'a's airport. Friday, thousands of Yemenis rallied in support of the Palestinian people. This as Israel continues its attempts to weaken the so-called Axis of Resistance, an informal network of militia in the Middle East against Israeli and American influence and supported by Iran.
I think Israel, over the past 15 months, has seen an opportunity.
This Middle East geopolitics expert says that opportunity is for Israel to attack the Houthis, Hezbollah in Lebanon, and now to make grounds in Syria.
They weren't responsible for the fall of Bashar al-Assad's regime, but they saw an opportunity once that regime had fallen to invade more Syrian territory.
But Syria's new government has said they don't want to antagonize Israel. Meanwhile, Israel continues fighting Hamas in Gaza nearly 15 months after the October 7th attacks. Families in Gaza mourn over loved ones killed, Palestinian authorities say, by Israeli airstrikes to a number of residential buildings overnight. Others search the rubble for survivors as chances for a ceasefire there seem again stalled. Sarah Levitt, CBC News, London.
A team of tugboats is working to refloat a cargo ship that's been stuck in the St. Lawrence River northeast of Montreal since Christmas Eve. The 185-meter-long carrier ran aground in the early hours of Tuesday morning after a power failure. Before power was restored, supplies were sent to the 20 crew members aboard. The Coast Guard says there were no injuries, no damage to the hull, and no pollution spotted in the water. Alberta's population has boomed in 2024, and that growth isn't just centered around big cities. But as Aaron Collins shows, while the trend is good for the broader economy, some parts of the province are paying a price.
On Cochrane's main drag, reminders of its past, but this town no longer of the one-horse variety. In the midst of a boom doubling in size to nearly 40,000 in just over a decade.
It remained a secret for a long, long time, and then all of a sudden, it became the place to go.
Cochrane, Alberta's population just 400 when Gordon Davies was born here. His family home, now a museum he helps curate.
So a museum exhibit now, but it was your bedroom at one point, right?
It was.
A lot of change.
A huge amount of change, that's right. It seems to be very small today, but it was not that small when I was growing up.
Kind of like Cochrane.
Like much of the province, growth here fueled in part by Alberta's hot economy. This engineer lured from Ontario, drawn by a job, but also the lower cost of living and a seeming abundance of services from family doctors to childcare.
Things that in Ontario could take you up to like 18 months of waiting, here things have been extremely easy, extremely smooth.
But all that growing comes with some pain. The mayor says the town is struggling to keep up.
Our highways are jammed, our grocery stores, we need more housing, we need more schools, we need more senior centers, we need more pools, we need more of almost every single thing.
The toughest nut to crack, how to pay for it all. Even some recent arrivals like this transplanted Torontonian looking for the pace of growth here to slow.
It's funny because I'll see a lot of people driving around with Ontario license plates here, and I'm like, oh, like, get out of here. But I'm like, oh, that was me literally like 6 months ago, so like, I shouldn't say anything.
It's one thing residents old and new can agree on.
They always say that you need population to support the economy and but drive the economy, but yeah. I think there's a limit.
But that ship may have already sailed. Cochrane's population could hit 100,000 in just over 2 decades. Alberta's could surpass 7 million. Aaron Collins, CBC News, Cochrane, Alberta.
Well, if you're a fan of sake, you're going to like this. UNESCO has designated the Japanese rice wine with a special status.
There are many industry people who have been waiting for this moment.
But will this make the already popular drink even more sought after across Canada? New research hopes to unlock the answer why people in one Italian town live so long.
Bella, bella, bella.
And one rower's whale of a story in our Moment Countdown.
This is so cool.
We're back in 2. Canadian Olympic hammer throw champion Ethan Katzberg is the Canadian Press Male Athlete of the Year. The 22-year-old from Nanaimo, BC, won gold at the Paris Olympics in July after that massive first throw in the final. He secured Canada's first gold in the event and the country's first hammer throw medal since 1912.
It's a new Olympic record for Summer McIntosh.
Toronto swimmer Summer McIntosh was the overwhelming choice for Female Athlete of the Year. A month before her 18th birthday, McIntosh became the first Canadian to win 3 gold medals in any single Olympic Games in Paris. She added a silver to take home 4 medals in all. Researchers in Italy are working to pinpoint how so many people on a small island community are living past the age of 100. Megan Williams went to that island where centenarians shared their secrets to living such long lives.
She's pushing 100 and still pulling weeds. Carolina Serdinu has lived her whole life here in central Sardinia, raising 3 children, working as a weaver and shepherd, cleaner and painter. What keeps her going strong in her 98th year? Being always on the move, around loved ones and animals who matter too, she says. And eating homegrown food. Serdinu is hardly an outlier in Perdas de Fogo. The town has won a Guinness World Record for the highest percentage of centenarians, about 30 for every 100,000 residents. Their portraits form a kind of hall of fame along the main street.
The older people here in Sardinia say it's the fresh air, the local or homegrown food, a lifetime of intense exercise, and close social and family ties that have helped them live longer. But what about genetics?
In a nearby town, researcher Eduardo Fiorello heads a team studying centenarians and their families. Past research suggested genetics influence aging by about a third. But with access to the large sample size of centenarians in Sardinia, some 8,000, their research shows that impact is significantly lower.
The impact of genetics is much less than the 30%.
A Mediterranean diet, exercise, social contact are the main factors, he says. Biologist Germana Oru says diet offers special clues. These skulls are of people who lived in Perdas de Fogo more than a century ago. Their teeth plaque, mineralized by time, is a time machine, he says. This plaque holds bacteria from a simple pre-industrial diet that people ate here for thousands of years. But for some, like Carolina Serdinu, her diet and life have changed little over the years. Small, simple choices, helping lead to a full, long life. Megan Williams, CBC News, Perdas de Fogo, Sardinia.
Canadian politicians are seeing a growing number of threats and a shocking level of vitriol.
Dearest Pam, I hope and pray to God that you will die a horrible, painful death.
And some are taking action before it gets out of hand.
It's that people feel that they can act with impunity, and that's what we have to stop.
But will it be enough before a heated election?
The temperature is higher than we've seen.
The National breaks down the stories shaping our world next. Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot has hit 10 figures. Since the last draw, the prize has surged to a staggering $1.22 billion US dollars, or about $550 million if you take it all in straight cash. It's the fifth largest jackpot in its history. Thousands of years after it was first brewed, sales of sake are now spiking, but the popularity boost of the alcoholic drink is focused outside of Japan. Ithil Musa now on what's behind sake's momentum.
This sake brewery dates back to the days of the samurai. And the process of making the alcoholic beverage hasn't changed. Inside this tank, there's rice, koji mold, water, and yeast starter, says brewer Koichi Miyasako. It's been fermenting for about 20 days now, and the sake will be ready in about a week. Sake brewing is being recognized by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage. The designation is welcome news for brewers like Miyasako. Sake plays a significant role in Japanese society and tradition, but sales inside Japan have been plummeting as a result of changing tastes. After being listed as an intangible cultural heritage by UNESCO, says Miyasako, Japanese cuisine has spread all over the world. I hope that the same thing will happen with sake.
This is our new sake flight.
That hope is shared by Canadian sake expert Michael Tremblay, who praises the drink's versatility.
It really goes well with Japanese cuisine, but I think a lot of sommeliers around the world and in Canada are finding that it's also an amazing beverage with non-Japanese foods.
Sake has been produced since 300 AD.
This sake wholesaler in Toronto says he's pleased international demand for sake is growing. China and the U.S. are the biggest consumers of the alcoholic drink, but Canada ranks as the 7th overall market by value for sake exports from Japan.
There are many industry people who have been waiting for this moment. Across Canada, there are sake experts, there are sake educators that can really help to bring sake knowledge to the restaurant industry, but as well as to the liquor boards across Canada.
What I love about Namibijin is
And experts are hoping the availability of sake in Canada will grow to match the burgeoning interest. Idil Musa, CBC News, Toronto.
Time now to dig deeper into the stories shaping our world. Tonight, the rising threats against Canadian politicians. Lawmakers targeted by hate and violence.
It's scary. You get your back up and wonder if someone has a knife or a gun.
But what's at stake when anger is used to justify physical threats?
There is a very concerted effort to try and erode our democracy.
In the fall, Ioana Remiliotis spoke with politicians about their safety to find out what's behind the rising hostility. And a warning, there's strong language in this piece some may find disturbing.
You deserve around-the-clock harassment until you either end yourself or get the fuck out of our country. You're traitors, pigs! You are a fucking I'm coming after you guys.
I don't think we can wait until someone is injured or killed because of this kind of anger.
The threats are vile and often violent.
What concerns me is the growing extremism in the country.
Politicians are under increasing attack.
So this is where it happened?
Yeah, he walked right up and spit on me. I was concerned that he might have had a weapon.
This is absolutely unprecedented.
Where the rubber hits the road on this, our law enforcement needs to have more tools.
Defend our human rights.
What's behind the rising vitriol?
People are really stressed out and reaching their breaking point.
And what does it mean for all Canadians?
I think Canadians deserve to know what's going on.
There is a very concerted effort to try and erode our democracy.
These are scary times on Parliament Hill. Intimidation and threats of violence against the Prime Minister and politicians from all parties have become alarmingly routine. Harassment of members of Parliament is up nearly 800% in the last 5 years. It's happening here, at their constituency offices, even their homes. And with an election looming, tensions are rising.
Dearest Pam, I hope and pray to God that you will die a horrible, painful death, off with your head and hung from the gates. Burn in hell. C-word.
That's hard to hear. I can't imagine what it's like for you.
I don't understand how people think it's okay to speak to people like that. I never, in my entire life, had anyone ever use that C-word. And as a politician, in the last 4 years or so, it's used all the time. All the time.
And Pam Demoff says it's getting worse.
Now people are sending an email and adding their name and business name onto it. I think people are emboldened.
As a female politician, Demoff is among the most targeted. The Liberal MP has received hundreds of hateful calls, emails, and direct messages, some threatening her with rape, and she's had multiple death threats too. We reached out to some of the people behind them. They didn't want to talk to us about it.
People have said, you're a politician, you need thick skin, but not for that kind of stuff. And that's why when people approach you in public or on the street and start yelling, it's scary. You get your back up and wonder if someone has a knife or a gun.
It's why Demoff doesn't post her itinerary in advance or take walk-ins at her constituency office anymore.
How do you feel about the fact that you've had to kind of restrict access to you?
I mean, I don't think it's good for democracy. It's separating us from people. We just don't have those same kind of interactions anymore.
For many, including the Prime Minister, the harassment has moved past messages to real life, like this incident where a man threw gravel at Trudeau. Racialized politicians, including NDP leader Jagmeet Singh,
you're a coward. You're not going to say it to my face.
are often singled out, and requests for protection have soared.
We are absolutely looking at everything.
Michelle Paradis is the assistant commissioner in charge of the RCMP's protective policing.
We've seen a 93% increase in calls for service for the RCMP for protection.
Is that unprecedented?
This is absolutely unprecedented.
Unprecedented, but the sentiment behind the escalating abuse has been building for a while. Experts say it's tied to distrust for authority that exploded during the pandemic. It was on full display at the 2022 convoy protest, as well as at demonstrations against vaccine mandates and other public safety measures. The rhetoric was polarizing then, and Paradis says it's only become more extreme.
It is not necessarily reaching the threshold of criminality, but it reaches the threshold of awful but lawful.
Awful but lawful. What does that mean?
It's the difference between I hope you get hit by a bus versus I'm going to run you over with a bus. Run you over with a bus, criminality, there it is, a threat. But it's that other piece, which absolutely has an effect on somebody.
So when you're getting these calls for protection, not all are meeting the criminal threshold, but they certainly fall into the category of intimidation or threat or just feeling unsafe?
Very much so. And I can tell you, if it is a direct threat, it's action immediately.
The RCMP won't say how many direct threats it has responded to or how many it's tracking, but police at every level are on higher alert. Public access is now restricted when the House is sitting after protesters yelled obscenities and at least one shoved an MP this fall. Ottawa's police force has a new protective unit in the works, and behind the scenes, the RCMP is knocking on the doors of people who've made threats. Its behavioral experts are also watching for signs of escalation.
It sounds constant. You're constantly assessing an evolving threat.
Absolutely. And you know, everybody will say to me, Michelle, what will help you sleep at night? And I don't think there's ever going to be a time where I'll be able to sleep at night. What we need is to be able to be constantly vigilant and constantly up to date.
There is a more combustible atmosphere.
Former Public Safety Minister Marco Mendicino says he's always looking over his shoulder, and he has good reason to.
How has it affected you directly? What kind of instances have you gone through?
Well, I've been exposed to political violence in a number of different forms. I've received death threats online. My family has been protested in our home. And last spring, I was spit on by a protester on Spark Street at the base of this building right here.
It must feel, to a certain extent, that you're under siege.
There's definitely...
Mendicino is calling for protective zones around politicians and harsher penalties for those who cross them, especially since a man spit on his face last June.
You gotta have eyes in the back of your head now, for sure.
Parliamentary police officers were just behind those office doors.
All right, so here we are.
A stark reminder of how quickly an attack can happen and what's suddenly on the line.
So this is where it happened?
Yeah, I was standing right there. I was opening the door, and he walked right up and spit on me. I could see that he was coming up to me, and he was approaching at a fairly good clip, and I put my hand out.
Why did you shake his hand?
I was just trying to de-escalate the situation. I didn't want to exacerbate it, and I was concerned that he might have had a weapon or a gun. You know, in the moment, I think I was just trying to make sure I got home to see my wife and kids.
That video, including others of politicians being harassed, was posted on this YouTube channel. We reached out to the people behind this channel and to people who post similar content. They didn't respond to our emails. So we went back to Ottawa to hear from people who support those sites and to find out what they think about the harassment of politicians. Many here were at the convoy and still hold regular protests that they call freedom rallies.
My name is Brian Dirksen. I'm the trucker that never left.
A lot of harassment has been happening to politicians since the convoy, and I'm just wondering how you feel about that.
Well, a lot of it I don't like. I've been here for more than 1,000 days. I've been standing on these streets with a certain message, and I've had people yelling over my shoulders, and I'm like, God, please help me. You know, I mean, a lot of this nonsense, I don't like it, a lot of it. I'm against it.
Hi, how are you?
There's a range of people here with a range of grievances, from COVID vaccines to transgender care, immigration, and the economy. What they share is a deep distrust of government and mainstream media.
Y'all realize, you guys are going to prison, right? All CBC, CTV News will be held accountable for your corruption. Are you going to speak out? Are you going to tell the truth? Yes or no? That's all what I'm asking today.
What's the truth? What's the truth according to you?
Come on. I bet.
No one here says they've harassed politicians. Darlene Dornwood doesn't believe the abuse is even happening.
There's a lot of reports, death threats, rape threats against female politicians.
Is there? They're probably paying their own to do it to make us look bad, is what they do.
Do you think the threats are fake?
Well, I would believe some of them are.
So you think politicians are kind of orchestrating their own harassment?
Probably.
Howard Kwan says any harassment is justified.
I'll put it this way. Which came first? Angry Canadians or corrupt, incompetent, negligent politicians? People are getting really fed up. So it is righteous anger.
All of it is often around this kind of populist sentiment of, sinister elite, they're out to get us.
Amarnath Amarasingham is a researcher at Queen's University. He's been tracking a broader collapse of trust in authority and a rise in populist rhetoric. He says it's led to more extremist thinking.
Us versus them, elite versus the true people rhetoric that's also ramping up, which tends to be quite easily linked to conspiracy theories. If you believe that, we are the true representatives of Canada, or the true Canadians, or the true Americans, and everyone else is evil and elite, you have kind of, I would say, an inevitable rise in seeing politicians in particular as people who should not just be debated with, but attacked and threatened.
What you just said was all part of this crime against humanity.
Those voices, he said, may not always draw large crowds, but are increasingly normalized online and on alternative media sites catering to disaffected communities. The fear is that anger could intensify.
Where do you think it could go?
Part of the problem with the megaphone getting bigger and the audience getting bigger for some of these individuals is that if more people are listening to hate speech, anti-immigrant sentiment, anti-Canadian content, or anti-Trudeau content, the more likely it is that as that pool of people who are listening gets bigger, one of those people will actually act on it.
All of us expect to be safe in our homes, in our neighborhoods, and in our communities. We should be able to expect the same kind of safety in our online communities.
The urgency to contain rising radicalization is prompting politicians to legislate solutions. The Liberals introduced an online harms bill, and Conservative MP Michelle Rempel-Garner introduced a private member's bill, informed by her own experience of being harassed.
How has your work changed because of the escalating abuse people like you are facing online and off?
This is tough for me. This is literally probably the, 100th interview I've done over the course of my career where I've been asked that question. So I choose not to answer it at this point, because for me, it's more about what we're going to do about it.
Her frustration is clear because, she says, politicians aren't the only ones targeted.
What the bill does is it essentially creates what we're calling a digital restraining order. So that if somebody is experiencing online abuse, that they can, through law enforcement, request a judge to essentially issue a stop contact order.
And that would send a warning signal.
It's that people feel that they can act with impunity, and that's what we have to stop.
But it's not stopping. Police say the threat is ever present.
I always say if the hairs on the back of your neck are standing up, there's a reason for that.
When the National continues, bracing for an election, a call for empathy.
I think that we'll get through it, but that takes a lot of love, care, and compassion.
And an emotional choice to walk away.
I'm going with my head held high.
With the next federal election seemingly around the corner, in part two, Ioana Remiliotis looks at the steps to safeguard politicians before the writ drops.
Distrust of politicians is rising. So are threats and harassment. and police are worried an election call could make it worse.
There's never been a time in our history that we've interacted with our national security on as regular a basis as we are right now.
The RCMP is adding officers to its protective unit while it recruits more. And for the first time, the Mounties will offer all party leaders the same level of protection afforded to the Prime Minister.
We've never been this far advanced in our planning as this election cycle. So if it happens tomorrow, if it happens next spring, if it happens next fall or summer, we'll be ready for it.
But this election is different, right? The threat level, or the temperature at least, is so high.
The temperature is higher than we've seen, but we are absolutely going to adjust to be able to meet that temperature.
I will never allow folks that are spewing extremism and hate weaken my resolve. In fact, it reminds me why I have to fight harder.
Leah Gazan says she's ready to run again, even if it means facing more abuse. As an Indigenous woman, the NDP MP says she's no stranger to harassment, but this is next level.
I've had threats of physical violence, emails threatening gun violence. I've had to have RCMP detail. And just by who I am, it makes me a natural target. You know, constant, like sometimes swearing, screaming, yelling.
Just as you're walking into the house?
Yeah, blow horns, all of that.
Gazan has also been stalked, bricks thrown through her constituency office windows. But she sees hope in the support people show her. And remarkably, she has empathy for those who keep going after her.
I think people feel really disenfranchised, particularly since the pandemic. People really are struggling. Mental health is not great. I think all levels of government have failed to provide proper mental health supports for people. As members of Parliament, we have to be extra cautious, extra mindful that we use our positions in here to improve the material conditions for people, because when people are doing well, when you look after people, you build healthy communities.
That means seeing past the hate and still living with it. But Demoff is tired of being afraid. It's why, after nearly a decade in politics, she's not running again.
I love this job. I have been so blessed to do this job. I'm at peace with the decision I've made not to run again, and I know that it was the right decision for me. I mean, I could have just said, I'm leaving politics for personal reasons to spend more time with my family. But I think Canadians deserve to know what's going on. And I think the vast, vast majority of Canadians don't support this at all.
Since Joanna's story first aired, Liberal MP Pam Demoff said she has received a lot of supportive messages, but the hate mail still keeps coming. It's one of the reasons she'll be walking away at the end of her term. Next, one man's solo trip across the ocean turned into a whale of a party.
This is so cool. Pod of whales just coming around the boat, playing around the boat.
The close encounter in our Moment Countdown. Well, this holiday season, The National is bringing you a countdown of the most popular moments from this year. We've had our share of whale sighting moments over the years, and 2024 was no exception. But this was more than a whale sighting. It was more of a whale swarming in the middle of the Atlantic while rowing across the ocean solo. That incredible experience is tonight's moment.
I'm 2 hours in now to rowing with these thousands of whales.
Tom Waddington is rowing solo and completely unsupported across the North Atlantic Ocean, and he's doing that for the charity Mind, which is a mental health charity. It's an incredible video that Tom's managed to send back via satellite to us, and I've never seen anything like it come through.
This is so cool. Pod of whales just coming around the boat, playing around the boat.
The whales sort of built up around him. He noticed one, and then there was 10, 20. And in the video, you can see that one does really hit the boat really hard. He didn't sustain any damage. The boat just sort of lurched over to the side. Then they built in number until there was, Tom estimates, over 1,000 whales around him. And the whole sea seemed to be boiling with whales. It's pretty wild. And that continued for a full 2 hours. But eventually they faded off and they went about their way. They sort of seem to have had their fun. Since then, Tom has been rowing for about 24 hours since that's happened. And yeah, making really good progress since then.
I can't believe it. It's an amazing sight, but also so scary.
Oh, geez. Scary. Yeah, I think so. I think I've been whale watching 3 times, once off Salt Spring Island, once in the St. Lawrence, and once off Cape Cod. Total number of whales seen, 0. So I'm envious, but also very freaky. Thanks for being with us. You can watch anywhere, anytime on the free CBC News app and subscribe to the National's YouTube channel. I'm Paul Hunter.